I'm working on a new book of poetry, and my goal in this book is to start from a place of fear and move to a place of fearlessness. And the fear part's easy, it's the fearlessness part that's hard. And so I'm going to read a poem from that book, and then I have two other poems that I'm going to read. Fear. Sometimes it's better not to know fear and stop it the way icicles freeze water, but freeze it still, its sharp points. An icicle breaks, falls from the side of the roof, the murder weapon the detectives cannot find. I shrink from the librarian, the quiet guard who looks down her nose at my gum chewing, at my talking to the boys between newsprint at the back table. Disapproval. There's always the bad review, the flip side of any truth. I avoid two-way streets, his story crashing into mine, but know if there were only one-way streets, I would never be able to reach myself. Must I always tell my side of the story? I fear silence. Rage is forbidden. I will even lie to avoid it, invent whole lives against a raised fist, brush my hair back, stick out my chin. When it comes to the past, I fear it the way I sometimes rush to my car, stick the key in the lock to slip safely inside, the stalker close. Even though betrayal is unthinkable, I have known the reasons we betray. I recognize the beauty of suicide, that last deep breath before submerging. I fear my own stupidity, blind courage, the duplicity of my female body, its mercury, what it demands, the blood and eggs shed. And yes, the litany of blood, the history of blood. Not the green eyes so much, but the litany of genes. May the gin of the Father be with you, and also with you, the body responds. What are my unspeakable terrors? The worst is that harm will come to my son. I cannot save him from falling. I reach for him, but he slips. Which brings me to being alone. Nothing to hold on to. The earth quaking underfoot, even standing under a door jamb, is dangerous. And I contradict myself. I fear intimacy. The list of things I must give up. I lose myself in this twister. Lightning, thunder, wind, such commotion. Who wouldn't stand on the porch waiting for the storm to pass? I fear possession. On the freeway, I blared out that song, "You Don't Own Me," and smiled at the freedom I felt. But what about love? Fearing love is tricky because I want what I fear, but want it anyway. No strings to tie me up, no web to get tangled in, just love without the fear. Or maybe it's there, but without caring. I don't know love. I've studied the many forms of fear, how it eats away at me, the way a sponge gets fat with soap and water and can tear in my hands as I scrub clean the tub. And there's always a new sponge, bought for loose change. You don't have to clap after. You can clap more at the end. This is a poem I just wrote called American Daughter. It's in two parts. And it pretty much explains itself. Part 1. Mother cross-stitched daughter onto my pillowcases. We broke anagrams together, her way of tricking me into learning how to spell. It didn't work. Learned a love of language, onomatopoetics. Whoosh, slam, boom, slap. I write silver scissors cutting sister's hair. Make word puzzles of reasons why I'm never without her. When are you going to stop writing about the family? She asks. In my head, her question repeats. I turn over pages of how I grasp being, how to stand on a stage, read a book, how to fall asleep between the sheets mother washed. She is always there. Small talk's intolerable. I struggle at parties to stand in the world without aching. I practice being natural. I'm not. Are you going to bury your mother? My coach asks me. When? I look at my wrist and non-existent watch. She's 94, so I think soon. Remembering he's not a literalist. Oh, tomorrow? I answer. He laughs. At my next visit, not yearning for smiles or at a girl, the echoes diminish. I let go of favoring my mom. About damn time. I still repeat harsh things to myself. Part 2. I forgot to tell you, as an intro, my mother just had a stroke in the beginning of June. So this is part 2 is about that. Maryland is underwater, wet with leaves, humidity, and algae. All the voices are muted, can't quite make out the words. In my sister's kitchen, I'm figuring out how to make coffee. Mother wonders what keeps her here, oddly childlike and ancient. I pray every night for God to take me. This pulling me up by the grinds. I tell her twice I don't know why, and I do know nothing is forever. The farm is beautiful chaos. I revert to kissing her forehead. She's become little, her tiny face harder to read than when I was a kid. Her left half droops, permanently bored, dismayed, dejected. The speech therapist asks, "How are we today?" "I'm depressed," she says. Though it makes perfect sense, it surprises me to see her sadness hurts. Maybe you need to forgive yourself, I say. For what? I don't know, but you do. When I'm at the farm, away from her, I lie on the carpet, pinned to the floor, sleeping. My mouth is like hers. The nurses are startled by our resemblance. Looking up at me, they stop pecking and scatter like crows. My body is her body. This clay is the same earth that made her. I say, "I love you, Mommy." My breath sucked out of me. I have taken to calling her Mommy, something I never did, even as a child. She stares at me blankly. Just as I'm about to ask if she hears me, she takes a breath. "Not as much as I love you." The words thick on her tongue. As I walk away from her room, my face is wet. Will I see her again? And then this is a poem that is kind of sort of answers the questions that poem brings up. And it's called "The Thousand Faces." What lies, you ask, beyond the white pine forests and the oceans, behind the stars that contour the galaxy, beyond the edges of the universe? Nothing you know. If you have an answer, it's wrong. Take away everything you've been told. The men waving frankincense on the steps of an altar, peace be with you and also with you. The muttering prayers of the sadhus, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Men on carpets bowing to Mecca, the chocolate syrup coating your tongue, bodies entwined, clamoring together at climax. The shuddering of a door slamming shut on your finger. Babies mewling, crying bowls, sighing dogs, money singing, all the animals that smell dead in the walls. There is no method to this, no second-hand words. We live and breathe alone. The way rain descends, no. The way mist fills up the air, it's everywhere and nowhere. It's not a slap on the face recalled, not words set up like marching soldiers. It's not that girl on the tennis court yelling, "Fuck you," or that moment you caress resentment, or the young woman who reportedly hung herself under police protection. It's not that, or even that. I find myself innocent and unseeing, not reborn. I'm naive. Begin here. In this instance, live out the 1,000 faces while not being one of them. Thank you.